everyone, I hope you're doing well out there. A few little points I wanted to talk about. The first one about the collective ascension. Now this is something that I have realized, over the past few months or so, that this is something that will be happening collectively. That's something that I always expected in my life since I was a teenager. I have been expecting awakening and enlightenment, and I've just never questioned that that's going to be the outcome of my life. I'm not saying I'm even anywhere near it right now, but it's just unquestionable to me, and I believe that's how you get there. You just don't question it. You just decide, well, that's what I'm going to do, or you tap into the fact that you're doing it. What I didn't realize, I knew the times were going to get a lot lighter on our planet, but what I didn't realize was that there were going to be so many of us ascending at the one time or around the same time. And that time is now. That time is this year, next year. And God knows when the event will come in and how many people that will then sort of push over the edge into ascension, how many will suddenly ascend with the event. But the energies are there definitely to tap into right now. There is, however, a process of purging, that there is a purging going on. So while we have that opportunity to ascend, we are touching that deep pain or the unhealed trauma. And for me, the last week or so has been tapping into that long time love, that the relationship I was never able to be in, but I still very much carry in my soul that deep love. So whereas the week before, or the couple of weeks before that, I was just riding these crystalline energy waves, like really at the peak of it. And it's nothing dissimilar to surfing. Not that I surf, I'm afraid of sharks actually, but there's a lot of surfers where I live. I watch them being at the peak of that wave, and as you can imagine, just feel all that glory and riding it, and the ease and being in the moment, and the energy's being crystalline and beautiful. So the ascension is there. It's ours to take, and there's going to be so many of us going around the same time, and that time is now. I have been taught, and I find the best method for moving into ascension reality is surrender. And that is what my dear teacher, Anara Ananda, and I will link her channel again below, that is what she has taught me. She has always taught me that now, because I was a pot smoker for a very long time, which she told me and others tell me puts holes in your aura. It makes your aura like a sponge. So it can open you up to higher realms, but it can also open you to lower realms. And the pot was in my life for so many years. And Nara always told me, she could heal me, she could give me the lessons, but at the end of the day, it was something that I needed to give up, and I was able to do that last year, 10 months ago. Her teachings to me, however, for at least 10 years, and she did go away to Glastonbury. She'd spend time in retreat, so I could go 2-3 years without seeing her at a time for healing or readings. But her number one teaching to me from Jeshua, her guide, Jesus Christ, is to surrender. Now, I surrender to Jesus, but by no means do I believe in one ascended master or one way or one religion. It is completely whatever we resonate with. There are so many higher beings up there, and we can surrender to whoever or whatever we choose to surrender to. But the teachings, and I found, particularly since giving up marijuana, what works is surrendering and giving up. Just giving up the problem. Just send it up. Just send it. Give it over. Give it over. And I am not religious. I don't go to church, and I know Anara doesn't go to church either, but she works with her guide, Jesus Christ, and Jesus is very powerful, or Jeshua she calls him, but she said you can call him by what he doesn't mind, one of several names. He is very, very powerful for taking the issues. There are many others. I've connected with Hindu gods and goddesses when I was in India. I've connected with Brahman. I've connected with Inti's sun god, or which may be a sun goddess. Also, it could absolutely be both, goddess and god. There's just so many. There's so many different archangels that we can surrender our problems with. But yeah, surrendering seems to be key in the ascension journey. The givers and the takers. One of my good friends, boyfriends, said it comes down to two sorts of people in life: the givers and the takers. And she mentioned he said that about 3-4 years ago, and I was like, yeah, okay, maybe the givers and the takers. But this has been at the forefront of my mind the last couple of weeks, realizing that is essentially what it is. This world is full of people, and there are really just two types. At the end of the day, there's the givers and the takers. My experience with that is the empaths and the energy vampires. I think people are a bit wary of the term energy vampire. My experience as being, I don't know if I identify with being clairsentient or being an empath or being both. I'm really actually not quite sure what the difference is. I do know that for a number, at least 2 decades, I have intensely felt the energy of the men that I've been involved with intimately, to the point that I feel I become them, which is if I end up with the wrong person, and I don't know that they're wrong until I'm with them, the energy can be parasitic. The taker. I'm the giver, so I'm willing. Unfortunately, I've been subconsciously willing to give it all over. And if you're listening to this, then you're probably the giver as well. You're an empath. You like to completely care for others and give it all over. So the empath is immediately physics, law of the universe or something. It's like opposites attract. They're two opposing forces, and they easily come together, which just seems to be why I questioned, why am I getting lighter? Why am I spiritually evolving more, but attracting darker and darker people? And that's just what I found. The higher that I got, the darker the energy that could come in. And again, smoking pot broke down my protection against these people. So the takers, that parasitic, vampiric energy is very, very, very real. From someone who can see it visibly, myself, I can see it and feel it intensely. It is like being overtaken. It is cloudy, it is foggy, it is dark. And they don't have to look like bad people in the real world. They really don't. They can be very charming, very good looking, very good at their jobs, in very mainstream, high up in their positions. It really comes in nice, neat packages. But the takers are very, very prevalent, and there's enough of them. And that's just the ones that I have experienced through intimacy, and I've realised that it is quite prevalent out there. God knows how many people are doing it just on a subconscious level, that there are small, that is just going on everywhere, like the person in the supermarket who walks behind you and you just go, oh, and you just get that bad feeling, like they're sucking out your energy. The person on the bus, the boss, the person who works under you at work, it is just an energy exchange, and we need to be very, very protective of our energy. Very, very protective of our energy. The last thing I'd like to talk about is that while we are riding these waves and this purging is going on, who you are, what you're doing, how you're being, even if you are sitting on the couch for 8 hours and watching a movie because you don't feel like getting out there and facing the world, it is enough. It is absolutely enough. We don't need to be achieving anything. It is ascension. We do need to put in some work, some meditation. We need to practice love. But we're stuck. We're in this, like, playing out this completely never before seen or experienced story at the moment, and it's a bit of hard work. And if you need a break, if you need a day off, if you need to sit around and do nothing for 2 days, even, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Beating ourselves up is not a way forward. If you feel lazy, be lazy and surrender it. That's my advice. Anyway, yeah, touching base. Stay well. Thank you for being my YouTube family. Sending lots of love. All right. Peace out. Ciao.